Hey folks, we are going live now. We're going to do some more Spelljammer Combat and Exploration artwork here in the morning. Give me a moment here to check my signals, go through my spiel, and then we'll hack at this thing for a little while anyway this morning. Hold on. Hack at this thing for a little. All right, cool. So it sounds like the signal is coming through about as clear as it's going to come through as for Phil anyway. Let's see. Sounds good. And okay, great. Let me go through my spiel here real quick, and then we'll dive into this. Hey, my name is Theurgy. Hi. I create role-playing game supplement PDFs and publish them online for folks to consume. Currently, I'm working on Spelljammer Combat and Exploration that you see here on screen, the cover. We built this back around around episode 15 of the stream, so you can go back and see me creating this thing, as well as all the other ship tokens, creature tokens, NPC tokens, maps for Light of Xaryxis, as well as the beginning of the actual interior artwork for the individual pages on the on the PDF document that we are publishing. So I publish on the DMsGuild. I work specifically in 5th edition D&D right now. If you check the description down below, there are a slew of links that will lead you to various books that I have already created that are 100% free preview. You can check out all my work 100% free. Read it all cover to cover. When you click on any of the links down below, they'll lead you to books. Go into each individual book. There'll be a book cover on the left-hand side. Underneath it, there's a link that says full preview. On the right side of the page, if you're on a mobile device, there's an eye icon. So if you click the eye or the full preview link, either one will open up a PDF. Read it all 100% cover to cover. There's about probably about 150 illustrations. A lot of it naturally gathering themed that you'll see throughout my work. And so if you're an art enthusiast, check it out. If you're a D&D enthusiast, check out some mechanics that I've developed. If you feel that it adds value to your game or your campaign, or it makes you come back and want to visit the material again because you thought it was interesting, consider making a purchase to help boost health and life into the channel. Let's see. Other thing that we can do here to help boost love to the channel is like, subscribe, hit the bell icon so the algorithms know that this is something that should be promoted out to more people. And I've just posted that I'm live on Twitter, so if you want to follow me on Twitter, you can at Filkearney, Filkearney. So now that we're done with our spiel, we can dive into this. But before I do, I wanted to take a moment. Hey, Hornetica, I wanted to take a hot moment here because over on the Spelljammer Discord, there was a question about travel time in the Astral Sea. So I just wanted to take a hot flash of a second to take a look at the mechanics that we have for travel time in the Astral Sea. Because when you leave the system, wild space system, and you head into the Astral Sea to find another destination, whether it is another system, one of the outer planes, or a location in astral space itself, everything takes time to get there. But in a world where everything is relativistic, how long does it actually take? We can take cues from the general mechanics of familiarity. Like, and depending on which edition of D&D is your favorite, there's a couple things that theme off of this. Teleportation, plane shift, and scrying, and divination are three, four-ish type of spell systems that rely on familiarity, where the more familiar you are with a subject, the more successful at the task you can become. So travel time in the Astral Sea can work, and using the mechanics of Spelljammer Combat and Exploration do work the same as this general principle. The more familiar you are with a location, the faster and easier it is for you to get there. There's a lot of campaign ramifications that go into that. So just looking at the content here real quick, and then we'll get into more character art for the day. So here's what we have in the exploration section of the Combat and Exploration chapter. This is a 104-page document. The last 24 pages are a conversion guide for Light of Xaryxis. The front end of this is equipment and how spelljamming ships work, then combat, then spellcasting, then exploration, then hazards in wild space in the Astral Sea, as well as a creature menagerie to update Booze Menagerie with the mechanics that we have in the supplement. And then there's a wild system generator, and then finally is the second appendix, which is Light of Xaryxis conversion guide. So the more familiar you are with the location, the quicker it is to get there. The less you know about it, or even question if it exists or not, is the longer it's going to take to get there. So in brief here, it's a pretty brief little snippet, but it's so profound, and I love that we were able to find this correlating data just to make sense with familiarity. So travel time between locations depends on how familiar you are with the intended location. The number of days required to travel to an object or location on the astral plane is determined by how familiar the destination is to the traveler, similar to teleportation, but instead of traveling instantly to the location, it takes a number of days as listed below. See, if you don't know, when you teleport from one location to another on your world, you actually bounce through the astral plane back to the location that you're supposed to appear at. Same thing with plane shift. You're shifting through the astral sea into the intended location, but it's instantaneous, so you don't notice the travel time. Well, one could say that you just simply blip out, hang out in the astral space until you can locate the intended location and then reappear there, but since there is no time, it's instantaneous. But however you want to narrate that for yourself, you can. It's just you use the astral sea as a transitory plane to move from one location to another. Kind of like in Magic the Gathering, you exile yourself from the game, and then you re-enter the battlefield at your current location of choice. This is how Magic the Gathering would potentially word that. But so beyond that, so for example, if you're very familiar with a fortress carved into a 100-mile long asteroid within the astral sea, the travel time is 3 or 1d6 days. During the last day of travel, you arrive at a distance 1,000 miles from the asteroid. So, hey, Jeffrey, good to see you, yo. So if the traveler takes a long rest, re-roll the duration of travel minus the number of days already traveled. If the traveler changes their destination, previous time traveled is lost. If an object is encountered in the astral sea, exploring that object won't waste any previous time. So this is if we roll a d6 and we get a 5, and then we go 2 days and we take a long rest at some point during that duration, and we rolled that 5, we went 2 days. When we wake up, we're going to roll the d6 again. If it's a 1, then when we wake up and we re-roll the die. We already went 2 days. That means we're going to appear there today. This is now the last day. So you can be rewarded by taking long rests over the course of the period of time. It can shift how long it takes for you to get there. So let's see. How did we determine that you would appear on the last day a distance of 1,000 miles from the asteroid? Well, if we go back up, and again, this will all be 100% free preview in the on DMsGuild once it is published. And if you find any of this stuff valuable, consider setting aside a little bit of money to purchase it when it comes out. So we have here, 100-mile long asteroid and 1,000 miles distance. So let's go up to 100-mile asteroid. Object size is within 100 miles, which is coincidentally the minimum size for an object to have spherical gravity. Anything smaller has a gravity plane. So 100 miles is the smallest size rock that you can have a spherical gravity. So taking that into account, the astral plane, we said that you can run across a 100-mile long asteroid and appear within 1,000 miles of it. 1,000 miles of it is the detailed range, the range you have to be able to make out any kind of details of the fort. You can notice it as just a floating rock in the ether within 100,000 miles. And if you're using an orrery station on your spelljamming ship and you're focused on doing like orrery scans with that with the orrery station while you're on your ship, you could notice it up to 100 million miles, which would be a full day away. So this is allowing us to get an idea of how far away, depending on the size of the object is when you're in astral sea, how close it is that you're going to appear to it, or how far away will it be when you notice it. And we use this detailed range as our arrival distance. So you have 100 million miles or more, which are 1 million miles or more, which would be a central, like, which would be a system itself, right? Once you get to object sizes this large or larger scale beyond this size is possible if the DM's discretion. But once you get to objects that are 1 million miles in size or larger, obviously you can travel 100 million miles per day. So if you are 1 million miles, you go to the Astral Sea. On the last day, it will appear within 10 million miles of your location. So you'll be right at the brink of the system. On that last day, you can choose how far, you're like right up against the system, about to drop out of the astral into wild space. You can then decide to actually plunge into the system, or you can skirt around the exterior of it in the astral if you wish, or choose a new destination, or drop people off and let them swim. Up to you. But that's the quick skinny of it. So visibility and distance and scale is a really big factor as far as being able to combat things. We know that the 500-foot scale is the maximum scale of a map grid that you can use to attack other ships because of the limitations of the technology of time, of siege weapons, as well as how far it takes for a lodestone or a ballista bolt to travel a mile to hit a target. Having combat at the 1 mile scale is impractical because they can literally see it coming from a mile away. They won't be able to hit you with it. So anything beyond this 500-foot scale is strictly exploratory. This is where all your system point or hex crawls happen inside of your game space as a dungeon master. So, but that's just a quick skinny on how the Astral Sea works and how travel time works inside of it. There's more details, obviously, that we have listed out here, and when we start getting, where did it go? Wild space point of entry. Oh yeah, we got a lot of crap going on here. Travel time in the Astral Sea, and then conflicting destinations. How to fight a mutiny aboard your ship to go to a different destination while you're in the Astral Sea. I'll just pause here for you guys to reflect on that in a moment. Astral tracking. How easy is it going to be for you to be able to locate and chase down something that you're familiar with in the Astral Sea while you're there? Kind of like travel time reduces the amount of time it takes to find it. The more familiar you are with it, the easier it is for you to find it in the first place. And again, the duration involved with being able to get to that location once you do. And then we have color pools. Like, what's the lowdown about color pools? Like, if you want to go to the Abyss, you're probably not just going to show up at the Abyss, you're going to show up at a color pool that will gate into the Abyss. So here's some details about how color pools work. Wild space point of entry, again, depending on how familiar you are with the location, is going to depend on the scale. And then distancing scales roll the DC above the result of the arriving at this distance 1 to 100 million miles from the intended destination. If you roll below the DC, roll the distance die and multiply the result by 100 million miles. So this is the destination from the intended destination you arrive at, but no more distant than the edge of the system. If the distance rolled can be traveled in any direction, roll a d8 to determine from which direction you arrive. A natural 1 results in appearing at the edge of the system farthest from the destination you intended. So this is, again, and then we go into actually traveling through wild space and mapping the distance between worlds and scaling maps into exploration systems and stuff. We'll get into that later. But basically, this is saying that this scale is in D100. This is 1 million mile scale. So if you're very familiar with a location like your home world, once you get through the Astral Sea in D3 days, or D6 days through the Astral Sea, you arrive in your wild space system. You don't necessarily have to arrive at the edge of the system. You can arrive inside the system as though you had teleported into that system from the Astral Sea. When you breach into that system, you even say Toril, which is 500 billion miles inside of, what is it, 1 trillion miles, something ridiculous like that. It takes a month to travel from Toril to the edge of wild space. But if you're coming in from wild space to Toril, it only, if you're familiar, like if you're really familiar with Waterdeep, you will appear within D4 million miles of Toril. So that makes entering a system super easy. It makes leaving a system super slow. So there are some travel times you can't get around while you're inside of wild space. But if your DM likes the idea of not having to spend a month from the edge of wild space to getting to Toril as just dead time, you can use this system of expediting travel from astral into the wild space. This lets you really control narrative more about where something will arrive and what kind of obstacles you want to put up against them. So that's just a quick skinny of that. We are continuing to work on this on the system. We have gotten right now actually. Just in front of exploration is all the spell casting mechanics that we have, and right now we're fleshing out the modifications for that. And we'll talk about we'll talk about that on Saturday. But at this point, I'm just losing my art audience. So we're going to work on Fel Ardra today. She has an illustration in the Light of Xaryxis guide, and so we're going to make our own ship token or our own character token for that today. It's 6:30 right now. I rambled on. I really appreciate you guys listening to the things that I have to say. Again, all this stuff is going to be available for you guys just to look at as a sample. And if you think it's cool, purchasing my shit would really be appreciated. Thanks for the help. I set a timer for 20 minutes. I'm not being rude and talking to you through my phone. I was just setting a timer. At this point, we have about 80 minutes today to work on Fel. So let's see what kind of a mess we can make here. She's a tiefling. Pronunciation may vary. But we are going to do as we do, which is spin some doodles and see who comes out of it. Get that all zeroed out there, y'all. This is a 300 pixel square. That's 1 inch in print. So that's the scale that we're using. Here's the thickness of a 1 pixel line. So let's see what we see. I made some Dimir artwork that kind of fits the general motif of this gal, but I can't guarantee the level. It's an intense picture. It's in the if actually you check down the task in the list below the Pacts and Patrons link. I have some Dimir artwork in there. That actually, I'm just all over the place this morning. Don't mind me. Let's show more. Let's go down here to Pacts and Patrons. There we go. Warlock options for Ravnica, and you can throw this open. And let's go down to additional invocations. Let's scroll up to find it. Here it is. That looks kind of like an Audra Felda, but I don't know if I'm going to do this level of detail. I doubt I'm going to do this level of detail for individual tokens. But I like that pick. I think it's cool. This is for a potion of invisibility. No, pass wall. That's what it was got going on there. While Boros patrols looking for the Dimir agent. Fun stuff. Again, that's in the link down below, and that is a 33-page document. This thing's fun. It takes the idea of each of the 10 factions in Ravnica can be a separate Warlock patron for you to have as a different subclass, like the House Dimir here, expanded spell list and the different different possible options they have as features and stuff. So each one of them. Anyway, I'm really rambling and really just off the topic. Can you tell I'm tired? Oh boy. Feels tired today. That's lovely. Let's just go with that. So we're gonna be here. It looks like I just built a little knife over here, so I think Fel's feeling Fel's feeling foul. So I'm feeling this hood motif that we have in the picture. I may just stick with that because it's cool. Here, yeah, let's just drop that down. I think she's trying to express something here. Renatico, man, what you got going on? Jeffrey, what's up? I'm gonna be back on tonight in about 12 hours. to work on some Eberron cartography. We are moving out. The underground lab is not quite done. I still have some cleanup work, some door work to do, but I want to start working on the village because it is my intention tomorrow to have the underground map finished by over the weekend by Monday. So we'll see how successful that is, but I only have so much time to split between Eberron and Spelljammer, and I'm trying to get the layouts for Spelljammer done so I can clear my palette of text from the Spelljammer project to get all the page layout done, so I can really dive into the start doing the page. Hopefully, start doing actual interior artwork next week. I've got a week off on vacation from the 15th through the 20th, and I'll be back in office on the 22nd. So I've got a full week off to pretend I'm a full-time artist again, and and then we'll just start tearing up some more stuff. Reneko says, "What's up?" Oh, let me catch up on stream here real quick. This is telling me that this is just too far over. Let's just fix the world like that. There we go. So it's always so interesting to see how different artists handle the dreaded blank page. Yeah, right on, man. I spin doodle. So this is how I if you check out the elemental key, in one of my playlists is called Elemental Key. It's one of the products that's in the Color Mana Spell Point Variant Rule Bundle that I have linked down below. But I do this process for all the color art in those books. So you can see there's either block in an outline to have like a black silhouette, like you can see that in the creature tokens that I did back I think around episode 50 is when we started doing creature tokens. In that format, I did the ships and all the creature tokens are black silhouettes that I then colored in the silhouette. But with characters, there is when I'm doing tokens like this, I like to do this scratch doodle method because it lets me find neat little pockets of interaction. Like I could have like a little I can start doing like a little Bodis here, built out of this framework that is laying here. But I didn't specifically think of that until now. So this is kind of how that works. I can see that there's an arm being built out here, and I just did an eraser thing here real quick. So now I'm seeing like this little intricate pattern here with these circles. So that makes me think that maybe she has some sort of a like she's her narration in the story is that she's trying to gather gold to buy out of a contract with a otherworldly being that she is a warlock patron. That is her warlock patron. So that's making me think that maybe she has the deep. I don't know. I don't remember what it's called. But one of the warlocks is basically like great old ones. They're like tentacle monsters and stuff, which isn't too far off in theme for a Spelljammer campaign. That Davy Jones sort of aesthetic. So I could, develop a cool little glove here out of tentacles real quick, for example. But I didn't preconceive that. It's that's just what we saw come out of the sauce, right? This slurry of spin lines. So that's an idea, but I can take this thing down and add it to the slurry, and then push this one down a little bit further to make it more background. And drop the opacity on here a bit more, and then we'll do another one. But this is a fairly consistent method that I use among all these NPC tokens that we've been producing for this stream. Hornego says, not much. Currently homebrewing some stuff for Lancer. Nice. I know that you've been getting into that. That I had inspiration for, had an idea for a Dolahan themed mech recently. I don't know what Dolahan is. I had a month off work, and my goal is to draw and rig a VTuber model. Oh, super cool! 4 to 5 beats, polished and the core for a TTRPG in coming up. I'm calling a solo. Is that Scandinavian? I don't know how to pronounce that. But right now we're working on gesture. So I got this arm up. I think I'm pretty happy with that arm being up, but I wanna get the feminine into her, so I want to do this sway. Movie posters used to be a really great source of action, like catching action, but movie posters are kind of garbage these days. With like just a bunch of people's heads, you know, kind of staring at you or staring off in a random direction, like I am the actor. This is the film I'm in. They're pretty uninspiring, but if you go look at the old school, like Star Wars and like Indiana Jones, Romancing the Stone, action adventures or adventure comedies or romance action adventure type movies from the 70s, 80s, 90s, they were all a lot more dynamic because you had to grab people's attention with the poster. So posters tend to have a lot of fun, energetic sort of poses that you can grab out of for characters. So that's what I'm rambling about. Like I said, I am ridiculously tired right now. So I got sleep. I don't know what it is. I think I'm just I work on the layouts for this at nights. I have basically like an hour or so in the evening before bed that I can work on the layouts here if I have other tasks I have to perform during the day. So my time is split up between various projects, which is obnoxious, but it's really like, if I didn't have so many projects right now and I'm this tired, I'd be tempted just to sleep. But no, the work must be done. The work must be done. God, I'm liking this. I'm liking this little scale stuff we got going on here. You see that? Like this spin method that I use is just really good at being able to just create little pieces of armor and like filigree and just fill in bits. It's just really, really fun to be able to have all that. VTuber models are neat to set up. I made back in December, and depending on how closely you work on it or how good of a tracking program you have, it's fairly easy. Oh, I got it. You're rigging up different frames to pop between different gestures. I get it. I get it. I know what we're talking about. That is fun. I've never explored that space. Maybe if I ever start burning out on RPGs, I'll consider making those. But that's neat, man. 2D once the PSD is done. Oh, okay. So that's a rigging system that you use. That's pretty dope, man. It's like a supernatural creature with a severed head. The Headless Horseman. Oh, gotcha. That's fucking dope, man. Neat. Hear my high-pitched screech of sincerity. That's cool, dude. Work the ribs. Just get that flare going. doing this stuff. So on the 15th through 22nd, I have a week off work. It looks like I have, 14 more pieces after this one to finish the sketching before we start color. So that is telling me that we will have, if I do 2 sketches like this a day on my week off, I'll be done by Thursday the 18th. And then we can start coloring these. On Saturday, this upcoming Saturday, I'm going to spend 2 hours continuing to develop the ship tokens that we have. Last Saturday, if you check out the live stream playlist for Spelljammer that we have here, a few episodes back, we started adding in more weapons to the ship tokens at the 50-foot scale to include both siege and mounted weapons to match up with the amount of damage that they can do when they're part of a squadron. So we're reformatting the traditional tokens just to have a little bit of a different feeling to them. This guy was pretty cool. Hey, Gabby. Thanks for swinging by. Yeah, we're rebuilding the Fel Aldra token from Light of Xaryxis. Spelljammer's Adventures in Space has a box set and comes with the actual Spelljammer Adventures in Space mechanics, Booze Menagerie, which is a book of monsters in space, and then Light of Xaryxis, which is Wizards of the Coast's adventure they created to highlight or to showcase Spelljammer. And this is the pilot of the ship that the characters are aboard in the later later chapters of the book. So since Wizards doesn't necessarily provide us with any NPC tokens, and since we created a conversion guide for Light of Xaryxis using the mechanics that we developed, I thought it was fitting that we create tokens for all the creatures that are aboard the ships that can be in the combat encounters as detailed in the adventure Light of Xaryxis. So we are currently making Fel Aldra, the pilot of the spelljamming ship that the characters commission to take them to the villain Elves of Xaryxis, to take them to their home system to conclude the adventure. So I'm not feeling that circle there anymore, but I'm liking this jumpsuit. I'm just gonna do like that. So yeah, I'm here 6 days a week. And then twice on Mondays, twice on Tuesdays, twice on Thursdays. So I'll be back this evening as well to do more Eberron cartography. And folks are certainly welcome to swing by and say hey as I stipple trees and shit onto the map. Very well. Let's see. I've been considering making my VTuber model. Oh, neat. I've been 3D. I've recently gotten better at using Blender. Oh, right on, man. You were talking about working on that. Not sure what direction I'll take it though. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know anything about. I mean, I understand the process of rigging and 3D modeling. I messed around with ZBrush for a little while a few years ago, just to see what the hype was about. But I didn't want to get into digital sculpting. Although with VR setups, I kind of like the idea of doing clay molding with a virtual space. That's kind of cool. But I worry about the lack of tactile sensation. But in all reality, I don't really have the bandwidth to be able to pick that stuff up right now. Maybe in the future, I'll get into that swing. Face this. So I can use all this line scrawl here that we have, this language to create different objects on the character. can carve away what we don't need. So my method is very much add noise, like all this noise, and then carve it out. Get rid of the noise. And whatever remains becomes the filigree and the buckles and the patterns and whatever it is that we want to detail on these things. And that just takes a good visual library. A visual library, it's not, I think it's Mark Brunet I first heard the term visual library. It's basically your mental snapshot or your visual reference library that you have in your head when you say an object. Like when you mention an object, what kind of images appear in your head? Like if I say castle, how many images of a castle do I have flicking through my head, and how can I kind of photo bash those in my imagination into a new structure that makes sense if I were to call it a castle, you know? That AI process, this AI diffusion thing that we see when it's like a cloud and then it slowly manifests into existence, that's very similar to how, in my mind, how actual artwork, like I have this like this vague cloud, right? That's where it starts. It's a figure. It's a gesture almost. And then from that, I start to define further inside of that gesture the form that I want, the outline. And as that further develops, I start to drop in detail. And then if we were to do another rendering, which we may well do, it'll be a cleanup render to be the more crisp, just more crisp imagery. So that's technically the same process that let's shift her. Like we're gonna make this bigger, and that's gonna make the lines, this is going to diffuse the lines. See, it's a little fuzzy now. So we'll have to go back through and snap it into place. But God, that's a great gesture. I'm really digging this gal. This song gives me a real PBS Saturday morning, when is Bob Ross going to start painting vibe. I used to watch Bob Ross on public television when I was 5 years old, playing with Legos on a Saturday morning. It was Bob Ross. God, what was the lineup? It was Bob Ross, then Battle of the Planets, and then Dungeons and Dragons cartoon. That was like my 6 o'clock, 6:30, 7 o'clock window at like 19, I want to say 1981, 82, something like that. Yeah, my folks thought I was going to get into engineering because of how much I played with Legos, but in Ope. I am a pirate. Uh-oh, I'm feeling the flow shifting on me. Message loud and clear. This is too long. Just been advised. This is too... I have to grab this like that and pull it in a bit. More of a kukri than a dagger. I love that. It's a great shape. I'll keep that. I can still feel the energy shifting around inside of this, so I'm not sure how it's going to end up. And she's top heavy right now, so I'm gonna have to balance that out. Let's see what the perspective. Warp. Better. That fills the space pretty well. Hey, Jeffrey, good times, dude. Oh my God, it's late. Go to bed, my man. Thanks a lot for being around. I really appreciate you kicking around with me. Thanks a lot. Let's move this up like that. And my screen got wonked up somehow. I feel the need for coffee. Oh my God, I have an hour. That's awesome. I have a whole hour left. I'm going to, yeah, we're going to go like that. Oh, my eyes, my face. I don't want to curve that leg in too quickly. It'll look unnatural. But I don't want it being too much of. I tend to draw thick thighs. It's a flaw I have. I have a hard time with like really skinny legs. I don't know why. I've got super thick legs myself, so I think that's part of the problem. Do it like that. It still feels top heavy. Let's see if I can shift the perspective. That's better. Yeah. All right, do some erasing here just to create some noise. Something like that. Moments of silence. See, I don't have her like the elven priestess pilot that we had illustrated last week. I put her specifically in the spelljamming chair because that is absolutely what her role is. She is piloting the ship. So putting her butt in a chair was the absolute right choice to do. Feldra starts off as the pilot for the ship when you first are introduced to her in the Light of Xaryxis adventure, but she should be supplanted by the players. The players should establish control of their importance in the adventure as fast as possible to retain assertion that they are the main characters here. You know, this is their story, not a story they're participating in. So, how does that feel? If I get away with that. Yeah, see, I've lost a lot of the energy in the piece. I'm not content with that. I just had this cool little swagger going on, and that has been destroyed. So I need to. We must rebuild. We must rebuild. So we'll go back to some figure drawing here. Arm break is there. This would be where her ribs are at. Much more feminine feel here. But I want more of a sporty physique instead of buxom. back into it. Reference here real quick. Now concerned that I won't actually get this done today. I mean, not that it hurts anything if it doesn't, it's just not what I expected. Let's see. Okay. Oh, flare. Thank you, Timely Timer. There we go. That feels better. Really looking forward to getting back to ship art tomorrow. Saturday is when we'll do ship art. It's God, I got so many irons in the fucking fire right now. It is insane. I'm really looking forward finishing the page layouts for this book, so I don't have to think about text anymore. I'm going to have plenty of text to think about when Stuart finishes the next piece of edits for the Eberron adventure. So like I said, we'll be working on Eberron, the village map for Eberron this evening. But it is soon, TM, soon that we'll be seeing more work, the next chunk for the Eberron adventure dropping into my document. So that's I've got a number of timers running between this and the Eberron adventure. What is going on? Oh. 2-layer system. There we go. Right. Proportions are right. Well, I mean, the overall proportions are right. I need to bring this bustiness in a bit. She's out of control. I tell you, if I had horns on my head, my hood would stay in place too. Horns and antlers, not antlers, they're a little prongy. They can get things caught up a lot, but a good pair of horns is just excellent for the fashion. Oh wait, I don't know why this is crushing me so bad, but this piece is just absolutely crushing me now. Meaning I'm kind of lost in it. I don't know where it's going. I don't understand its energy. It's trying to tell me something. It really wants to tell me something, and I haven't been able to clear out my signal enough for me to be able to hear what she wants to say. I can hear it. I can hear it in there. So when I'm stuck on that space, so all I can really do is just like mash a little bit and hope that the signal clears up for me to hear where it's supposed to go. It still makes sense. Can I do that? Let's see. All my lines are still, yeah. Proportions are still good. That's important. I like the gesture better. I'm not 100% on board with it yet. It's 7:30. Yeah, this guy, she's not gonna be done today. Sad. Gotta trust the muse. She knows what she wants. So she wants, she apparently wants to spend a little bit more time on this. It's okay. There by grace I go. I am liking how, God, I'm liking all the pieces, how they're shaping up. So I'm not sure how they're supposed to end up connecting, you know? Give a bit more of a tilt. Let's reconnect with the anatomy here. Make sure I'm not... I'm not missing the point. Yeah, I lost that. Just lost it. I can bring this home. I just have to resign myself that it's not going to be done today and not get wrapped up in what I feel like are as soon as I start setting goals for myself, I can start missing those goals and I can feel bad about it. I rolled into this assuming that I'd just be able to knock this gal out and be good to go. That is apparently not the case, my friends. Got a lot of components here that I like, just not sticking the landing at all. It must mean I have a flaw. I have some sort of there's a flaw in my thinking about how this gesture sits in general that's causing me to get this roadblock. Like I can't see what the problem is, so nothing is satisfying me because I'm missing the point. I'm completely missing the point. So that picture isn't coming clean for me. I know I've got good coffee going that when my burps taste like Denny's. Denny's coffee is just like its own thing. All right, this is our last 20-minute kick. As you can see, we will not be done today. Interesting. This arm is like too thick. There we go. Now we're starting to... Now I feel like I'm starting to actually feel the anatomy a bit. Oh, great. Now I want to listen to Fraunhofer Diffractor. This song reminds me of Fraunhofer. That is for sure. I'm just gonna have to let this gal sit. Yeah, not there. Yeah, I'm just grinding on this, aren't I? Well, sometimes that's what you get. I went raw. You know what? That's what the fuck is going on. I have that Demir agent, that Passwall Demir agent in my head. That image that I showed earlier. It is absolutely skewing my perspective on where I'm at inside of this. That's what it is. It's a different illustration is polluting my thoughts. And I keep trying to render that same character again, which was not my goal. I ended up locking onto that image as my model, and it is absolutely not what I need to be doing. I think, wow, what a lesson. What an interesting lesson today. Wow, it only took me like an hour to figure it out. I'm okay with it now, though. Now that I know why I was having the gum, I certainly don't mind having to dig our way out of it. That's perfectly fair. I created the problem. I have to solve the problem, and so that's yeah. This is gonna work out okay. I mean, obviously, I don't have enough time to finish it now, but I can. I'll finish. This will be done tomorrow. You know what? Speaking of that, now that I have an idea of what was going wrong, I feel like I want to cleanse my palate a little bit. I'm going to. Thin that up a bit. There's some interesting stuff going on there. All right, I'm going to stop this now. I'm starting to... Actually, Muse says, no, we're going to play with the hips just a little bit longer. All right, I'm gonna stop there before I start getting angry. But I'm starting to feel it a little bit better now. All right, what a challenge! What a challenge! We're out of time for the day, so I'm gonna go. We're gonna be back. We're gonna be back tonight to do some more cartography for Eberron. We're gonna be back in the morning to figure this gal out. We'll be back on Saturday doing more ship token artwork for weapon systems, and I'll be working off screen on page layouts for the Spelljammer Combat Exploration book that this is going to be for. And yeah, what a serving of humble pie today, huh? I guess sometimes people just gotta show you failing, and this is, yeah. Frustrating, but I guess that's part of the process. So I really appreciate you guys being here. Thanks so much. I am looking forward to being back in about probably about 10 hours, give or take. So I will see you guys on the other side, and hopefully gonna get to catch some of you guys later. Cheers.